loading and unloading a firearm. Now we've already gone over the proving safe method, which not only provides us a safe and clear gun, but it also teaches us how to unload the gun. To load the firearm, we're going to first prove it safe. We're going to point the firearm in a safe direction. We're going to ensure that it doesn't have a plate of food and that it's not currently eating anything in its mouth. The chamber is clear. The feeding path is clear. And examining the bore, it is also clear. Once the firearm is proven safe, we can now load the firearm. The reason why we first prove the firearm safe is we are now guaranteeing the firearm's condition before we load it. Further to this, we are practicing good safety, and we are also doing a little bit of a function check on the firearm before we fully gas it up. Now, to load the firearm, we're going to take a loaded magazine and insert it into the magazine well. If you hear a click, that's likely good, but you can also tug on the magazine to ensure that it's not falling out without activating the magazine release. Once the magazine is inserted, you can see the rounds at the top of the magazine. To get the slide forward, the easiest method is to just take your thumb and push down on the slide release. This firearm is now loaded. A press of the trigger will send a round down range. There are a couple of ways to ensure that your firearm is indeed loaded. The Glock pistols have a loaded firearms indicator on the later generations on the side of the slide that you can feel with your finger. Some firearms also have it on the rear of the slide. Another method that will work for any firearm is what's called a press check. All this is moving the slide partially to the rear to observe the round in the ejection port. To perform the press check safely, we're going to take our support hand, open it up so that the web is visible, turn my firearm over, place the web over top of the slide, pull back with my support hand, and push forward with my firing hand. I can now observe the round in the chamber and ensure that this firearm is loaded. On a firearm with no weapon mounted light, the procedure is the same. Take my support hand, and between the web of the thumb and meat of the hand, I'm going to turn my pistol over and place it in between. I'm then going to squeeze down and pull back. You can now observe the live round in the chamber, and I'm just going to let go of my support hand. Some shooters appreciate the confidence that a press check gives them before holstering their firearm for a shift or for competition. Now this can be seen as a redundant step, which can actually induce weapon malfunctions. We will induce a malfunction to the firearm. The slide is now out of battery and the firearm will not function. The trigger is dead. You can think of this kind of like an electrical circuit. Until the slide is fully forward and you've connected the wires for the whole gun, the on-off switch, being the trigger, will not work. You can also just trust that the firearm will do its job and seat around in the chamber as the slide gets sent forward. Another function of the press check is to verify the condition of a weapon. It is unacceptable to have a firearm in your control and not know the condition of it. If you do not know the condition of your firearm, you've failed the first universal rule of firearm safety. Not only is it embarrassing to come up on target and get a dead man's click, but you could also fulfill that saying in a real life context when your life or someone else's life is on the line. There are many mistakes that occur when people assume that their firearm is loaded or unloaded without actually knowing the condition of the firearm. The only way to follow the unload rule to perfection is to know the state of your firearm. If you have unloaded it yourself and proven it safe, it is now unloaded and the condition is unloaded. If you do not know the state of your firearm, it is loaded. Treating this in any other way will get someone hurt or killed. Another way to send the slide forward is to take your support hand and place it over the back of the slide, pinching it between the meat of your hand and fingers. I'm then going to push my firing hand forward while holding my support hand still. This works because the slide release operates under spring tension. You can see the ledge here that it is sitting on. When I pull the slide to the rear, the slide lock lever or slide release lever falls down and the slide can move forward freely. To unload the firearm, we're going to prove it safe. Point the firearm in a safe direction, remove the source of ammunition, lock the slide to the rear. We can see that the food fell out of the mouth. We're now going to check the mouth and visually check the mouth, check the feeding path, and now check the bore. This firearm is proven safe and unloaded. From a holster, this is what the load-unload procedure looks like. Unload.